Hello guys, Mr. Chopper King here back once again. It's approximately 3, no, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. December 6th. But yes, so guys, y'all guys saw the title of the video. The fight we never got in Baki. Yes, the title of the video. Kazumi versus Baki, the fight we never did get, the fight we never did receive inside Baki. Some of you guys who only came and watched the Netflix series, what are you talking about? Kazumi's just, well, he's a karate instructor. He was training with Rex Yukayo, and next thing you know, he's getting his throat slit open by Dory in a wooden board, and then he goes on to fight Pickle. But if you only seen the Netflix series, never seen anything else about Baki or read the manga, you should know that Kazumi first showed up in a Maxima tournament, which is an excellent art of Baki, and it's I would be interested to see how to reanimate it, because there are some things the 2001 animation cut out from the original Baki manga. It's similar to have restructuring some things, how the story played out. But in this case, when Kazumi was first introduced inside the Maxima tournament, he was doing a a Tai Chi type dance with Doppo Orochi with the karate, going back and forth, and and Kato comments on this, because Kato, back in the day when Baki first started, truly believed after seeing Baki fight Suedo, he was Doppo when his top disciples. After Baki beat up Suedo, Kato was like, hey, I can beat him, Doppo. I can take him. I can beat him. And at this time, Kato left left Japanese karate because he preferred doing his dirty techniques and his dirty tricks. But Kazumi was hyped up as being the pinnacle, the perfect, and the perfected version of karate. That was he was introduced. He was shown to be better than his father. He was shown to be the cream of the crop. As Yujiro had his son Baki, the Doppo Orochi, the God of War man himself, has Kazumi Orochi. And then right off the bat, Rachel didn't do this to Baki, the person he goes on to fight later in the tournament. Right off the bat, he confronts Kazumi about being perfected with karate. Like karate's so young, it's a rookie compared to 4,000 years of Chinese Kenpo. So immediately, someone said, it's his introduction. So in this case, an incident happened. When Kato got a ghost fight up for show up for his fight, he's supposed to be fighting a boxer, a pro boxer, who I believe could be based off of Roberto Duran, I could be wrong, but instead, an incident happens. October comes to the back room, seeing everybody got their wig peeled back and beat up, and it turns out that Togawa brought in a Yasha ape, but not any Yasha ape, the junior son of the Yasha ape that Yujiro killed, the son of the Yasha ape that Baki went life and death with when he was 13. That same Yasha ape, he's back, he's stronger than his father, and Kato tries to fight him, and of course, he gets his wig peeled back. But then, after going life to death with Baki, well, somewhat, Kazumi shows up, snatch him by his wig, throw him out there in the middle of the arena, after a few quick combinations, beat him like he's nothing, like he's a joke. And Baki's like, hey, you've done enough, you don't need to finish the job. And Doppo is the one who comes in and says, hey, you two meet each other when the time comes, alright? You choose to make it to the pinnacle of both of your different blocks, because the tournament is split up in 4 different blocks. Block A, Block B, Block C, and Block D. So, you want to have their chances. But in this case, the fight never did happen. Some might say, why? Well, it's quite simple. A man named Rex Yukayo had his opportunity to get his hands on Kazumi after Kazumi fought Hamiyama. In this case, this wasn't just, Hamiyama was just going to throw one punch over and over again. This is Hamiyama fighting all out in his brawler style, using kicks, using tech throws, techniques, and that's after Hamiyama don't beat up a Japanese Kenpo fighter. So this is Hamiyama, the real deal. He has something to prove. Smacking away Baki Hanma. We're not here for friends, Billy. I'm here to destroy. So Kazumi beats him, and it's time for Rex Yukayo to come up to face against the rookie, the pinnacle of karate, the man, the myth, the legend, the person who taken karate and evolved it to levels that Doppo would not even understand. And he loses in one hit. Kazumi's down. So we never had a chance to ever see the hyped up, Baki, Kazumi, the next Prodigal Sons of both of the main rival characters. We've never seen it. Well, that's what you want to call Yujiro and Orochi, Doppo rivals, if you want to call it that. If that's what you want to call it, alright? It never happened. And it came down to the final 4 of the Maximum Tournament was Shibukawa versus Jack and Baki versus Retsukayo. Retsukayo did one-shot him, but later on, in Son of Ogre is confirmed by Retsu himself that when he beat Kazumi, it was not because of pure raw strength. He beat Kazumi purely on technique. That is it. But since then, Kazumi upgraded himself. He allowed Chinese Kenpo to be taught inside their school. That's when Doran showed up to interrupt the teachings and split his throat right open. And after healing, miraculously, he comes back to set Doran on fire. And you know, the rest of the first season of Baki Hanma on Netflix, not Baki Hanma, just Baki, starts on Netflix. So it goes from there. And then later on, he has a confrontation with Hector Doyo. He gets set on fire. He teaches Hector Doyo the meaning of true martial arts, actually fighting it out instead of using cheap techniques, blades, and everything else. And that's more or less it for his character. There's nothing in the Olivia Biscuit art. There's nothing in the Pickle. No, correction. There's nothing in the Olivia Biscuit art. And the Ali Jr. art for Kazumi. Nothing really happens. Kazumi, Ali Jr. fights Shibukawa and Doppo, but for some reason not Kazumi, Kato, Suedo, or anybody else that give him some variation. At least he would have got beat up by Kazumi instead of Orochi. It would have made sense. Because Orochi perfected karate. He's the pinnacle of it. He's the strongest you've ever seen. So when people see, well, why you have those opinions? I mean, we used to make videos about Baki. Like, why do you have those opinions? Because I used the rankings from the Maximum Tournament. The top 4 characters in the series is Shibikawa, Jack, Retsukayo, and Baki. And the only reason Kazumi's not there is because Retsu at the time beat him technique. So Retsu was up there. But Yujiro said that's why nobody take Kazumi seriously. And how many of you people actually believe that? The same Kazumi that inspired Baki to have his multi-punch technique, you tell me that same Kazumi? Him? Really? That same one. The same Kazumi that seemed like he could beat Dorian before his father got his hands on him. The only reason Dorian was even got an upper hand against him was because he kept using all his techniques, throwing his hair into Kazumi's eye, taking off his belt, and everything else. So when Kazuma understood that, hey, this is not some type of usual martial arts fight, we have to play on the even playing field. Kazumi can do things well. So, but then sadly, an individual named Pickle showed up. Now some might say, well, we all know what happens. He loses an arm. But in this case, unlike Baki when he fought him, he gets to fight a starving Pickle, a hungry Pickle, a Pickle who won an actual fight for survival, and not a Pickle, well, I'm going to teach Pickle what it means to have pride. Tell me the same Pickle that was praying after you jumped twice. Tell me that same one, the same Pickle who chose not to eat Kazumi's arm out of his respect he had for Kazumi, that same Pickle. I guess the same thing happened with Shashi, huh? But back on the main point. And that's more or less it for Kazumi's career. Sure, you could train. Sure, he was still working along after that. But Kazumi one-armed it. It was not the same. It's like Red Hair Shank and Mihawk. If I was to beat you now, even if you gotten stronger, there wouldn't be no credit to it. So, any hype towards Baki vs. Kazumi died. All that training to nothing. But then, the sumo arc showed up in the manga, in which I can't show any images of for reasons. And with that arc, with the Team Koagawa Underground Korea Harvest with the sumo wrestlers, Kazumi got an arm transplant because it turns out after Retsukayo, spoilers, leave now, passed away in the manga. He was killed by Musashi Miyamoto, well, Itagaki's version of him, and they saved his arm. Whether they saved any other limb, who knows? They could easily claim Retsukayo if they needed an extra limb, but they saved an arm of Retsukayo. And I think they said it was like a request or something. I could not remember, but they did. So because of that arm transplant, Kazumi was better. He was faster. He was stronger. He was an animal. An animal. Which reinvigorated the hype between like the mock punch and the way he was like imaginating changes his that they reboot the hype towards Baki versus Kazumi because the only reason in my opinion Baki ever beat Jack was because Jack got distracted. That was it. That was literally it. There was no way for him to get out of there if it wasn't for the whole world. You got a demon back? What's that? But as you can see, this is a fight that was hyped up during the Maxim tournament. 2 Prodigal Sons, one of Yujiro, the one of Doppo Orochi, the pinnacle of karate, the strongest karate member there ever was. And the fight never did happen. It never did exist. It never came into existence, even with the whole Richie. Like that Final Four still stands. Doppo Orochi is not beating Shibikawa now. That's not happening. Hamiyama got him stronger, but he's not beating the Jack or Baki. And I don't think he beats Kazumi either. Especially since, well, the only thing he does now is throw one punch, which is the same punch he got countered flipped to. Where's your feet, Hamiyama? Where's your kicking power at? Where is it? Just gone. Uh, it is what it is. But it is the biggest fight we never did get a chance to get. The hype, and not even just back then, it's even now. Kazumi versus Baki would still be an excellent fight, especially if they hype it up. The fight's gonna happen, the true Prodigal Sons. But Baki fought Yujiro. Yes, he fought him and he lost. Just like Doppo did. But everybody trying to give Baki full credit like he's Luffy. Well, all because Yujiro said he's not the only strong person in the world. Or Baki, he lost. And then he went out the same way his mama did. Besides, the only difference is he didn't die. So, I don't see what type of gap that was closed. Some of how Baki could have got killed by Musashi Miyamoto, but we never got a conclusion to that fight. And if Pika was starving trying to eat Baki, I'm pretty sure he would have done no better than Kazumi, but hey, what do you know? What do you know? But it is the biggest missed fight that we never did get. Because the hype between Kazumi and Baki was real. It was the ultimate fight. It was like Baki was using Kazumi moves against Jack. It was everything. I was hyped up for it. I was always hyped up and excited to see the fight. It was something that couldn't possibly quite happen. It wasn't for Retsukayu's technique at that time. But it never was real. It never came to reality. And up to this date, which there's still a chance it could happen inside Baki Raiden. Yeah, Baki Raiden. Is it going to happen? Who knows? Who knows? We did recently see Hamiyama get folded like a lawn chair by one of his old classmates, so maybe he will start using his feet again and not just punch, and just one big more punch. That's not the Hamiyama for Maximum Tournament. I thought. All right then. But I hope you guys are able to see my viewpoint of why this is one of the biggest missed opportunities or fights throughout the entire series, especially with everything people know about Baki. But with Kazumi and all that extra backstory some people might not know, Kazumi was built up to be a real deal. And the only reason he was ever lost or was defeated was purely because of technique. That was it. So, how would Baki versus Kazumi would have turned out? Who knows? I'm not saying Kazumi would have won, but there's no guarantee that he would have lost. So, like Baki was bleeding against the Yasha Jr., and Kazuma just folds him up like he's a lawn chair, like he's a joke. And one of the reasons Baki was able to beat Retsukayo because he used his imagination and constantly predicted multiple different ways Retsukayo attack. He did this for we don't know how long, repeatedly, back to back, and he learned it out. But for Kazumi, we've never seen him make an image of Kazumi. We've seen him do it with Pickle, with Yujiro obviously, with Retsukayo, but the whole imagination thing, he has never done that with Kazumi. So you can replay, well, you know, they never took him seriously. Could Doppo beat Kazumi? No, that ain't happening. That never did happen. Never will. So, I don't know what else to say. It's the biggest missed fight in Baki. I don't see why nobody else has brought this up. They brought up like a whole lot of, 10,000 other fights, especially, but it's just like not the true Prodigal Sons, not Doppo versus Yujiro, not them. The Tiger Killer Doppo and his son, the pinnacle of karate, who's always been the face of karate ever since then. Well, they bring up Doppo every once in a while to prove a point, but 9 times out of 10, it's Kazumi. But sure, he did run against the sumo wrestler. Yeah, I can't deny that. But then again, from that same merit, he was about to kill this man, like take his dome completely off his shoulders, and he chose just to give up. Play around too damn much, Kazumi, but no, he's strong enough to take on Baki. Could he win? I say it's a high chance. I say there's a If you want to talk about a percentage of winning, I say there's like a 20% either or. It can give a slight nod to Baki, but even then that's pushing it. So, especially with the new upgrade he got with Retsukayo's arm, he's able to implement most of Retsukayo techniques with karate. With Chinese Kempo, it's just like, yeah, this should be the matchup for the X's. Right on Blackjack versus Baki Hanma, the true Prodigal Sons, two legends of the underground Tokyo fighting ring, the two sons of Yujiro Hanma and Doppo Orochi. It will be a fascinating fight. Because the way I see it, Katsumi got a good chance of potentially winning, but I'm not gonna write off Baki like he's just trash. Nor will I use the excuse that Baki would just win because of plot armor. No. So, there's a decent chance that Baki can win. He has evolved since then, especially after the father-son fight. But it's he lost the fight. And even Kozue pointed out they were just playing around the whole time. Well, most of it. Like, there's even one point they cut out from the anime where Yujiro was like, "Hey son, this is how you throw like a proper punch. You start out your pinky finger, you roll it in, and you loosen up the pinky finger, and that's how you throw like a perfect punch." So we got Kozue, which is arguably the most hated female character in the series, I guess, according to some, saying that they were just joking around, and how much of the fight did Yujiro actually fight for real. So, who knows? How would Baki deal with the mock punch when he got the cockroach stash? You have to depend on which one you believe is faster. It all depends which one you want to believe is faster. Can a cockroach dash outspeed the mock punch or the mock kick? Especially how he's changed it, he can lessen the power. He can still do it. The sacrifice is still worth it. So it's always there. It's always there. And the way Katsumi and Baki both fight different, differently they use their kicks. Baki throw a lot of high impact, a lot of high moving kicks, but Katsumi can hit him with the spear kick. It's different. It's different the way Katsumi fights compared to Baki, which would make the matchup even more interesting. The better question would be, how does Baki beat him? I don't know. Kazumi's pretty smart. And since he will be going to this fight fully serious, there's no, he's just fighting to prove something. Since he is going all out with this fight, it's just, I don't see how Baki could just, he could just win. So, I don't think I got thoughts and opinions about the fight we never did get from the Maximum Tournament. I know a lot of you new guys is unaware that it's just a fight that we were supposed to get. Especially with the whole Yujiro thing where he's saying that he was just a joke, when everybody knew that was a lie. Everybody. And that was just a statement that Yujiro said just to rub it in. So, yeah. But I say there's still a lot of potential for the fight. Whether they had a Maximum Tournament or current day, there's still a whole lot of potential for both of the characters. And only one man can make it out here. And only one man can survive. Okay, like, comment, subscribe, like the video. Who do you believe would win the fight? Katsumi, the last son of Doppo Orochi. Because remember, it is a fact. Doppo said the strongest he would ever been was against, the last time he would be at his peak was against Yujiro before the Maximum Tournament. That's the highest he got. So, that was the case. I mean, every other version of Doppo is not really at his peak. Not at his maximum performance, even up to now. So if that's the case, then hey, Katsumi is the real karate man. Say, maybe that's just me. The 10-4 hat may be extra tight. Image, we could like, come subscribe, and peace.